What is the goal of the cabal then?
That's a very good question, and it's a very, very relevant question, especially for the young people watching this. There is an end game. It has been working towards it for a long time. This has not been going on for 5 years or 50 years. This goes back thousands of years. And the key to increasing human control has been increasing human centralization of power. So, for instance, there was a time when the human race was made up of tribes. And the tribes decided what happened in the tribe. Then there came a big change when lots of tribes came together under what were called nations. And then a few people at the center of the nation were now dictating to all the former tribes that made up that nation. Through the European Union, we've gone to the next level, which is to bring the nations together under centralized control. And the idea eventually is to have a world government, world army, world central bank, world currency, cashless, which we're heading to so fast. And underpinning that structure of centralized global control is complete control of human perception. And it's happening in front of our eyes.
Why would someone want that?
Well, I mean, why does Stalin want to control Russia with a rod of iron? Because they're frickin' mad. They're psychopaths. And there's a thing called the hair test. It's a list of traits, and if you have enough of them, you're a psychopath officially. And the top trait of a psychopath is lack of empathy. The inability to put themselves in the feelings and the situation they're making other people suffer. And when you remove empathy, all limits go.
Right.
We're back to 9/11. Only people with no empathy could possibly do that, knowing the consequences for those people, that could start the Second World Wars. So lack of empathy. But where this is
sadly, those people are also very good at what they do.
They're very good. Yeah. They're very sick, but intellectually they're very clever.
Right.
And they study, and this is what AI is doing. You know, they talk about surveillance and all this technological surveillance, all this AI stuff. Well, it's not just surveillance. All the things that the human race posts on the internet, posts on social media, all that is being fed into AI, which is becoming enormously skilled at understanding the human psyche, therefore able to manipulate the human psyche to control what? We're back to it, control perception. But the end game, in terms of complete control of human perception, is to connect the human brain to artificial intelligence. And this is something I've been warning about now for so frickin' long. And the Silicon Valley crazies are now openly talking about it. There's a guy at Google, he's called a futurist, called Ray Kurzweil. And there are others like him as well. And they're actually giving the year 2030 for we're in 2019 as we speak, for connecting the human brain to artificial intelligence. And that at that point, and I'm now quoting or paraphrasing Kurzweil, once that connection's made, he said AI will do more and more and more of human thinking until human thinking as we currently know it will be basically negligible.
Right.
In other words, the human mind will become AI, and instead of manipulating human perception will become direct through AI. And this is how they've done it. There's a...
Well, we're already kind of...
Oh, we are.
Can I ask...
Using the phone for a start.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to give you a sequence, because this will be very relevant to the people watching this. I talked about problem, reaction, solution. There's another technique that is the bedfellow, the stablemate of problem, reaction, solution. I call it the totalitarian tiptoe. And what you do is you start at A, and you know you're going to Z. But if you go in too big a leap to Z, the change is such that people go, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? So you go as big a leap as you can, but not so big that people see the pattern. So the totalitarian tiptoe to control by AI went like this. Stage 1, get them addicted to technology that they hold. Your goal is to get in the body. So first of all, stage one, you get them addicted to technology they hold. So we had this explosion of the smartphone era. And
even before that, you could say, I mean, even calculators, that kind of thing, Tamagotchis.
Well, if you want technology that goes inside someone, I know a few devices.
Well, you bloody would.
Yeah,
but
believe me, then they're not addicted in the same way.
No.
That is interesting, though.
So that's stage one, and that's achieved.
Right.
Vast numbers of people are absolutely addicted to technology they hold. You go to stage two, they're holdables. Next stage, wearables. You're going in the body, so next stage you get on the body. This is your Apple Watch, your Bluetooth, and all these things. Endless gadgets.
This is literally not an
He's
Apple
got
Watch.
an Apple Watch.
So
endless gadgets that you wear.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and what they're doing is conditioning normality. They're making these things normal. And I'll tell you something about these office assistants in a minute about that too. And then these AI bloody Barbie dolls they're giving out for kids and stuff like that. So then you go to the next stage,
small soldiers,
which is inside the body, which is internal chipping, which I've been saying was the plan since about 1992.
Elon Musk is sort of big into that, isn't
don't talk to me about him.
Not a fan?
No. I really want to hear what you think about
Elon Musk
Here the Tesla
comes
is a lovely
out
car.
and says that AI could be the end of the human race. On that he's right. And then he opens a frickin' company called Neuralink to connect the human brain to computers.
Yeah.
I mean, talk me through that. And
sort of Overton window sense of
the only way that they are going to connect everyone to AI, no matter where they are in the world, is by having every inch of the planet covered with Wi-Fi, the cloud. This is what Kurzweil says, that the human brain is going to be connected to the cloud. So the cloud has to be global. And they are putting thousands and thousands of satellites up in orbit. Musk, one of the major ones through his company SpaceX, to beam Wi-Fi at the planet so no one can escape from it.
And are you of the belief that this 5G thing is something to worry about?
Massively. 5G is ramping up this whole what they call smart grid. Do you notice how everything today is called smart? Mm-hmm. Everything called smart is part of a smart grid, and part of that smart grid is connecting AI to the human brain. So everything is connected by is controlled by AI. And whoever controls AI controls everything. And from one central point, when this grid is up and running and it's being put into place more and more every day all over the world, whoever controls that central point controls not only everything technologically, controls the human mind. And see how fast things move. I remember some books ago, not that long ago really, I was warning about the plan for something called the Internet of Things, where everything is connected to the internet. Now, already billions of things are connected to the internet. Everything's connected to AI and the internet. The internet, by the way, was made possible thanks to an organization called DARPA, which is the technological development arm of the Pentagon. And if I called DARPA evil, I would be fearful of evil suing me for defamation of character, to be honest. That's how bad it is, right? And so the idea is before you can make a physical connection to AI, and people accept this, you've got to make a psychological connection. And what they're doing, because it's all a psychological game, the few cannot control billions unless they control the psyche of the billions. It's a very, very important psychological manipulation technique. It's called preemptive programming. Mm. Okay, this is how it works. You are here, you want to go there. That society is so dramatically different to this one, you're gonna face a response against it. You want to do what? So what you do is you fill the movies and the programs with storylines and scenes and portrayals of that world. And so what you're doing, and you look at the movies that have come out in the last 10, 15, 20 years about this whole world of technology and robots and AI and all that stuff.
Anything with Will Smith in, pretty much.
Yeah, and what do you call it? The one with Tom Cruise in.
Oh, yeah. Minority Report.
Yeah, Minority Report, yeah.
Mission Impossible 2 was excellent.
Yes, and what you're doing is you're preparing the subconscious, particularly the subconscious, conscious as well, to become familiar with the world you want to take people into.
Over the window.
So as the world is brought in for real, that familiarity is going to lessen the resistance to it because there's a familiarity
about it.
about it.
They're going to do it, David. If they make it easier to get laid for men, that is the Tinder via microchip. That's it.
Do you know the worry is, David? You're laughing. He's totally serious.
No, I'm telling you now. If there's one way you'll get men to go along with this, is if you make it easier to get women. Guaranteed. And I shouldn't be saying this because I'm giving them ideas.
Yeah,
but I've said it now.
To be fair, Brian. To be fair, if you've had the idea, I think they've had the idea.
Yeah.
Can I just ask
very quickly, just to finish this point?
Yeah.
You've got to get people familiar with AI and interacting with it as if it's human.
Part of life, isn't it?
As if it's human. And that's what the office assistants are for. Some people have one in every bloody room I've come across. Yeah. They're interacting with them as if the AI...
Is that like Alexa and stuff
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
As if the AI voice is human. And then you've got the Barbie dolls and these other
Remember
toys.
Rocky? He had the little thing that swept the floor up for him. Sylvester Stallone in Rocky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere.
We're talking like early 90s, and even it was in the movies then.
Do you know when you interact? Do you interact with any of these things? Have you actually?
No, I haven't got any.
You've not dabbled at all.
No, not at all.
Does it? Why? Because it scares you, or
no?
Just
because I don't want them. I don't need them. So, see, the thing is that when people become addicted to something like technology, they think they need it, but they don't necessarily need it. I mean, I don't carry a smartphone. I have one at home, which comes out about once every 6 months. It's a 3G one. When I have to be somewhere and contacted, and there's no way they're contacting me, and what I say is, okay, I'll call you from a landline, and I find a landline. That's as much as I use it, maybe 3 or 4 times a year for one small amount of times. Apart from that, I don't use that kind of technology.
I think it's healthier.
Yeah, but what it's doing.
Mentally.
It's creating, especially with the kids and these AI-connected Barbie dolls and stuff, it's making them familiar with AI to the point where they perceive it as human. And once they've got that acceptance and that interaction, then when they move into connected to here, you're going to have far less resistance because it's not the, oh my God, kind of reaction.
There's no shock there.
It's no shock. It's become part of life by then. And that's why they're targeting the kids now, because they are going to be the adults 2030 when they really want this to come in full blown.